I book 31 sales calls for my agency every single day. And here's how I do it. It's not a secret. It's not something that is impossible. It's something that's very doable. But most people are afraid to do it, not because they can't book the calls, but because they think that they can't close the business that they book the calls with. My name is Ibrahim, and my background is in building, running, scaling, and selling agencies and other businesses. Right now, we have a company by the name of Grow Big Ventures, and our whole entire mission is to work with businesses that have one of the two core problems in business that can be fixable. Either they have a demand issue or they have a supply issue. Demand issue means they don't have enough marketing, they need more people in the door. A supply issue means that they have the inability to be able to fulfill on clients that they do have. Both issues we've been able to fix for various different businesses, and we were able to do it through our team who is vetted and has had their own exits, our team of consultants. You're more than welcome to DM me at any time. My background started all the way back in 2021 when I started my first ever business. Last time I had the camera in front of me, I was telling you about how I built 7 different businesses and 6 of them failed. Only one of them was able to prosper, and right now we're in the middle of potentially selling this business. And I have the ability now to be able to stay here in this amazing penthouse with this view. I feel like Batman every single day I'm alive, because why not? And I was able to get here simply just because of the people that I knew, of the hard work that we did for my business. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly what I did to book so many sales calls and the logic behind every single thing that I did to get me to where I'm at. When I first started a business, I had no clue what I was doing. I had no mentors. I had nobody to help me. I then met my current co-founder right now, and we worked together to understand and learn better together about business. We learned sales tactics. We learned marketing tactics. We worked with multiple different businesses in multiple different industries as our clients. So we had to figure out what worked best in multiple different industries, hence why we started our new business, Grow Big Ventures, because we know about a lot of industries right now. And we didn't get here by luck. We had to do a lot of trials. We had to try a lot of things. And a lot of things didn't work. But the things that did work, we used them. One of the things that changed my life completely was creating a good offer. If you want to learn more about offers, here's a video right here that you can take a look at to learn more about offers. But the most important thing to any business ever is creating a good offer. You dummy, you need to have a good offer. Now you might be asking me, what is a good offer, Ibrahim? Please tell me everything. Share with me your knowledge. I have an offer framework, and it's as simple as this. Value proposition times guarantee divided by risk reversal equals great offer. A really good value proposition is not, I will run marketing for you and I will do social media management. A really good value proposition is switching up what you're doing and focusing more on the result of what you do is. So rather than saying, I do social media management, you say, I manage your social media with the aim of increasing your follower base to increase your clients. Or so I can increase your brand image, get you more followers, which in return makes you more money. Anything that makes somebody or saves somebody money is a really good value proposition. You just need to be able to use statistics and numbers to prove that you do what you do. That's the value proposition. X times a guarantee. Now you might be asking yourself, what's a guarantee? Okay, how do I guarantee that something is possible? If something doesn't happen, how do I guarantee that it can? So you either might say, if we don't hit this number, if we don't hit this metric, then I will work with you for free. I will give you a refund. What are you risking in this equation? Why would somebody feel safe speaking to you? Why would somebody feel safe starting business with you? And that's just a really important aspect. Divided by risk reversal, which is sort of along the lines of guarantee. A risk reversal offer is something that makes it stupid for them not to say yes. Again, you can learn a lot more about what a guarantee is in my last video. But once you have a good offer and a good value proposition, as in what result does your offer give the prospect / client who you're speaking to, then all you just have to worry about is, where do you get these guys from? The simple question is just by talking to them. I mean, as stupid as it sounds, what you need is a system that can reach out to multiple people on your behalf, provide them your good offer where they're stupid to not go for your offer, and then you do that at scale, and you bring a lot of people who can talk to you. One really good platform that I like to use and has been used across all of my businesses and has helped every single one of my partners scale and make money without failure has been LinkedIn. And the reason why LinkedIn is such an amazing platform is because you don't always need an amazing offer. You just need to have a good background, and you need to ask somebody nicely and be genuine. You either can take the approach of having an amazing offer, or you can reach out to somebody to say, hey, I would love to connect with you. I'd love to hear your feedback on what you think I could do better. And then you can hear your feedback, create an amazing offer, and then go for a hard sell type of offer. And that's exactly what we did. We understand and realized and knew very quickly in our business that if we connect with enough people who can become our potential buyers, that they will train us and teach us as to why our offer is not good enough and why they don't want to work with us. So every single person that said no got us one person closer to an individual saying yes. Hence why we now have an amazing offer, super irresistible, and I will share that with you at the very end of the video. You can do this through Instagram DMs, emails. Again, our platform of choice has and always will be LinkedIn. And the reason why we love LinkedIn is as such. Every single LinkedIn account, as of today's date, can send about 1,600 messages every single month. And let's say you have 3 coworkers, 3 friends, 3 separate LinkedIn accounts. What you can do is you can take all these LinkedIn accounts, put them in an automation platform that will reach out to individuals as long as the message is good and the offer is okay, which you'll find out very quickly based on if you book calls or not. Those individuals will then send messages to your ideal prospect using LinkedIn Sales Navigator. If you want a more detailed explanation on how to do this, let me know. I have a completely free guide that I can share with you guys. DM me on Instagram at ibrahimalani.com and I will share it with you. Once you have all these people reaching out to different individuals with a really good offer, what you're gonna do is you're gonna create a message that says something along the lines of, hello, would you like X result? If so, my company will guarantee this result. Otherwise, we will give you a full refund. We will work for free. We will, whatever it is. If you would like to have a quick conversation and learn about how we can potentially collaborate, here's my calendar, right? That's gonna be your value proposition. Or you can send a message that says, hi, I run this business. I would love to learn more about your feedback about what we can do better and potentially see if there's any room for us to collaborate. Here's my calendar. That type of message also works, but the offer one always gets more deals because it's directly aligned with the sales proposition. So when they get on the call, they expect you to sell them. The other one, when they get on a call, they don't expect you to sell them. But LinkedIn will always still be more amazing just because of the connection aspect. I had a customer at some point, and this is somebody before they became a client. They came to us and they said, we're not sure how to get leads. We really need help. We've tried Facebook ads. The cost per lead was higher than what we charge. We tried Instagram and people were not responding. We tried email marketing, but it just wasn't so great. What we ended up doing is we ended up saying, how about we just create connections for you? Rather than trying to sell right off the bat, why don't we just figure out what your prospect wants? And the best way to figure out what your prospect wants is by reaching out to your prospect and asking them what they want in a way that's semi-direct. So rather than going, by the way, we provide this and we can help you do this, because then you're assuming that they need the help, you can say, hey, I just built a business that does this, this, and this. Can I get your feedback to see how I can present this better to the market? And that's what we use for them. Because of that tactic, they were able to close $20,000 that month with us in just, again, 30 days because of that offer that we created for them. Now, they were already established. They have never used LinkedIn for outreach, but they used us and our experience, and we were able to make them that money. People really wanted that service. It was very difficult for anyone to display that type of service without making a really long paragraph, if that makes sense. So we use that to our advantage, and rather than, again, just going straight for the pitch for something that's sort of hard to explain unless you get somebody on a call, we were just asking for a product feedback, and that's what got the deals. To give you an example of what my business does, we are a lead generation / sales company, at least one of my businesses. At the time, when we had no clue how to get leads, what we ended up doing was obviously using LinkedIn, as mentioned. So we started off by saying, we can help you generate leads. If you want, here's a link for us to have a quick conversation. And that worked for a little while. Then one day I woke up and was like, we're not closing that many deals. At the time, we were generating around $20,000 per month, which now is, thinking about it, doesn't sound like it's, a small amount of money, but compared to what we make right now, it's a very small increment. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to create a better offer. So I woke up one day and said, how do we close more clients? Okay, great. What if we make a results-based offer where we say, don't pay me a single penny unless we get you the result that you're asking for, then you pay me. We ended up, moving to a pay-per-lead offer where we said every single lead that we get you as a lead generation company, we will bill for. That was absolutely amazing. It was so good that it took us from around $30,000 or so. By the time we created that offer, we went from 20 to 30. And then from 30, we went to $65,000 that month, and we doubled in revenue just because of a change in offer. And our ideal customer profile are business owners who are coaches, consultants, and technology companies. Right now, who we work with primarily are individuals in venture capital. These are companies that help other companies raise money, or we work with agencies to help them scale. Really, any company that we worked with that we know can scale using our platforms, our services, and our systems, we work with right now. So our ideal customer profile switched and is different between the two different businesses that we have currently, which is fantastic. It's amazing. And many people don't realize this as well, but if you're sending out a bunch of messages, either on LinkedIn or any other platform, the response rate, the amount of people that respond, is cotangent on the type of market that you're reaching out to. So if you run a LinkedIn marketing campaign or an email marketing campaign and the response rate is super small, there's only one reason as to why there's a very small response rate. Now you might be asking me, Ibrahim, you know so much about this LinkedIn stuff. What is a successful campaign? What does that look like? Well, great question, fellow person behind the camera. A successful campaign, and something that works very well, is something with a high response rate. If the response rate is very low and people are not responding to you, then that means that your list, the types of people that you're going after, they're really difficult to go after. Let me give you an example. If you're reaching out to executives at massive companies, your response rate is going to be tiny. There's not going to be a lot of people that respond to you. But if you are reaching out to smaller companies, your response rate will be higher. Now, if your response rate is high, but you're not booking sales calls, more than likely, it's probably your offer and what you're doing. So a successful campaign is something that's booking a consistent amount of calls with a high response rate, at least mediocre offer. And after all these things come in harmony, your offer on this side, making love to your lead acquisition machine on this side, which is the systems and tools and softwares that you use for outreach that can automate the whole process so you're not sitting there like a nerd doing it all yourself. Then what's going to happen is they're going to combine, get married, have some really beautiful children, right? Gorgeous children. And these children are going to be sales calls. Your goal out of these sales calls is to be able to sell. If you cannot sell, none of anything I just said matters. But in order for you to be able to sell, you need leads. And it's sort of a chicken and egg sort of situation where it's like you need leads to learn how well your offer works and what you can sell, but you also need to be able to sell, to be able to make money, to afford paying for the softwares and tools to get the leads. So it's a really interesting scenario, to say the absolute least. Once you do a little bit of volume, you don't necessarily get a sale, but you get some type of traction. At least some people want to talk to you and show interest in your offer. Then what you do is you increase the volume. Slowly but surely, you're going to have down the funnel more and more sales calls that come in. And as you talk to more people, you'll be able to close more individuals. And currently in my business, we have a 25x return on investment when it comes to our advertising. For every single $1,000 that we spend on marketing, we make $25,000 back. And to explain to you how crazy that is, most companies and most people, they're looking for 2x return, 3x return on their ad spend. We get a 25x fucking return on the marketing that we do. One of our clients who we have a case study up on, their name is Greeton. You can watch the case study right here. They also got almost a 20x return on their investment with very little accounts. And they're an SEO company. We use the same tactics that we use for ourselves for them, and it worked because we're good at what we do, obviously. And month 1/month 2, they invested money with us. It didn't work. They were patient. After they were patient, they got the leads. And once they got the leads, they got the sales calls. And once they got the sales calls, they got the sales. And once they got the sales, they made the money and they 20x, whatever, easy peasy. Once you marry the leads with the client acquisition system and you get the sales calls, then as mentioned, you have to just be really good at sales. Depending on what you're selling, this is a very generalized thing, right? But when you start off a sales call, so you can say, it seems like one of my colleagues reached out to you because of the message that we sent you. Does that ring a bell? Oh yeah, it rings a bell. It makes a lot of sense. All right, great, Mr. Prospect. Since it makes so much sense and since it rings a bell, how come you booked the call? I'm just really curious to understand why you wanted to take time out of your day to speak to me today. Oh, I booked the call because of what you told me and I found it really interesting to blah, 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 blah. Great, Mr. Prospect. Tell me a little bit more about the systems that you're using at your business so I can learn more about what you guys are doing and understand if we're even the right fit for you. Long story short, once you figure out why they booked the call and what systems they're using, you can then go in and say, oh, Mr. Prospect, you know what's really crazy? We actually don't even do that. My recommendation is you do this, this, and this, and that's exactly what we'd be doing for you, funny enough, because of blah, 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 blah. What has worked for you before, Mr. Prospect? Well, we tried this and it didn't work, but blah, blah, blah. Oh, great, amazing. Actually, most of our clients who come to us have already tried this and they realized that, working with us, they were able to blah, 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 blah. And it really is as simple as that. I'm telling you, if you want to learn more about Grow Big Ventures, my company that helps other companies scale and grow, and you want us to come into your business, do a full audit and figure out what you're doing right versus what you're doing wrong and ways that we can optimize your business and make it better and make you a shit ton of money. And if you want our guide to show you how to build a LinkedIn marketing agency or simply just use LinkedIn in your business to get more leads, then simply just go to my Instagram, DM me, and I'll give you a whole entire playbook completely for free that shows you how to use LinkedIn, what softwares to use, how to create your offer, how to send messages on LinkedIn, and how to get sales calls so then you can convert those sales calls into deals. Thank you very much for watching this video and existing. And I'll be looking forward to having you reach out to me on Instagram. Thank you very much. Take care, boys.